Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team, holy mackerel. Know us, and we rain in bed to grab a boat. We a different breed, talking alien. Survivor of the fittest and we play to win. Grab another bounty and get paid again. Then we fade into the dark like a gradient. Dark like a gradient. Dark like a gradient. Space, force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look like warp. Everybody look confused, huh? How do we make these moves, huh? How do we always improve, huh? No, we ain't nothing like you. We on top cause we don't stop and all we do is gradual. Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team, holy mackerel. Know us, and we rain in bed to grab a boat.
Smoke the bear, you better go in there. My fireworks in the sky like a Roman air. An imposer in the throne, and it stole my chair. Any moment here could become a polar bear. It's cold in here, in a flash like a solar flare. The Vulcan here, my whole career, they cloak the beer. They will get over me and then it won't appear. In iguana like a fauna, now I go to be deer.
Space, force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look like warp. Everybody look confused, huh? How do we make these moves, huh? How do we always improve, huh? No, we ain't nothing like you. We on top cause we don't stop and all we do is gradual. Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team, holy mackerel. Know us, and we rain in bed to grab a boat. Space, force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look like warp. Everybody look confused, huh? How do we make these moves, huh? How do we always improve, huh? No, we ain't nothing like you. We on top cause we don't stop and all we do is gradual. Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team, holy mackerel. Know us, and we rain in bed to grab a boat. Wow. Space Force, wow. Banger, gotta bang. We the ones that put the words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. Fire, better retire. On the job, ain't no one higher. High up, see the hardest drivers. Galaxy riders, alien siders. Out in the field, we left them signs. This is seismic, broke that ground, that's why we signed up. Zodiac signs, ain't no one
I'm a desperado, there will be no next to follow. Time I give them extra throttle, but I never need a flex it. Better when you exit, we shine like Apollo. And I got a whole list of accolades, I'm feeling like Milano. No rappers have got the motto, ayy. Fire, burning all through my veins, aiming higher and higher. Enemies know my name. Banger, gotta bang. We the ones that put the words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. This that make them wanna bounce. Tag them, bag them, going dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground, most are dead upon arrival. Going down must be your FICO, no we're going at you like a hypo. Halogenic, venomous viper, killing it sniper, in your vitals. And echoing like a rhino, or etching them like a vinyl. We unidentified flying in Space Force, you know the title. Ay. Fire. Burning all through my veins, aiming higher and higher. Enemies know my name. Banger, gotta bang. We the ones that put the words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. Just give me 30 seconds, man.
This that make them wanna bounce. Tag them, bag them, going dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground. Most of this that make them wanna bounce. bounce. Tag 'em, bag 'em, going dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground, most I did upon arrival. Woo!
All I really wanna do is vibe out. With me and you, I just wanna ride out. Love don't pay no mind to haters, hating. Baby, just jump inside of my spaceship.
Where you going? We gon' meet up somewhere. Earth is glowing, got you saying a prayer. In the moment, we ain't going nowhere. Nowhere, let's go somewhere.
Send the alley, better pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. 30 minutes at the jeweler. Showing that I got the moolah. She won't ever need an OnlyFans. When we dating and no longer friends. Hold it down as a only man's. Keep her covered like them clothing brands. Past drama, not an issue. Call me Zaddy when I kiss you. To the moon going with you. Yeah. By my side while I wish you. Never leave cause I miss you. Time we make it official.
All I really wanna do is vibe out. With me and you, I just wanna ride out. Love don't pay no mind to haters, hating. Baby, just jump inside of my spaceship.
Where you going? We gon' meet up somewhere. Earth is glowing, got you saying a prayer. In the moment, we ain't going nowhere. Nowhere, let's go somewhere.
Long as we're fine, let spears fly. I'm never in a pickle when you're nearby. Come here, my peach, tell me where your fears lie. Whenever we're together, I am sears high. Got stories reflecting on the movement like mirror sliding. Clears my head. I'm an animal and here's my den. Go ahead, I'll be right in. You're the one and only, the only one who's ever known me. The gravity of it is I'm still floating. Telling me gotta speed up and go slowly. Not it cause I'm lonely, feeling homely. Never forgot about the moment you weren't afraid. Like Macaulay in the word you are fully. Anywhere that nobody's gone, we go boldly. Just another reason to begin the ceremony.
All I really wanna do is vibe out. With me and you, I just wanna ride out. Love don't pay no mind to haters, hating. Baby, just jump inside of my spaceship.
Where you going? We gon'
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire. I am the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things. For Shizzy? Wait a second. shouldn't be. But oh, you know why? Because Dusty's not on. So we relied on
that Dusty. I swear. So do we have to start over? What do we got to do?
No.
You tell me, bro.
Sorry about that. It changes every week because this remote thing is a pain in the butt.
How about now?
But now, yeah, you're on. Now? You're on. And so basically, what you said was, this is the best podcast ever.
Let me help you out there. The strong one is in the house. The people's champ, the people's choice, has joined the greatest podcast to ever be conceived. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and then plausible foolishness came out of God's mouth. That's how good this podcast is. That's how intense it is. Do you understand me? We're bringing it to that level. Does that make sense? We're bringing the noise, and I'm very excited to rock and roll with y'all. You know, because that's just life, man, you know, and I'm ready to rock with the Ivory Tower. I'm ready to rock with the mad scientist and bring the noise and fire it up a little bit. You know, we're everywhere. We're on Clapper, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and what am I missing anything? YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Yeah, we got it all, man. So we're there. So I'm ready to rock, Podcasts. I mean, we're just blowing up, man. We're expanding faster than the universe itself. We're creeping up on 200 episodes, which is insane. Can you believe that when we started this madness? Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it.
So, hey, listen.
It's a good feeling, though. I'm excited about it. I like that.
It feels good deep down in my soul, you know? Deep down in my man bits, it feels really good, you know?
And we want more people to hear it, so share. Share this content. We made it smaller, so it's more shareable. We're on more days a week, so there's more content.
Ooh, more content.
Yeah. So
I'm excited, man.
We're doing what we can to make this, to grow this audience. So let's do it. We need your help. We can't do it without you. That's just the God's honest truth. We cannot do it without you, or else we'd be we'd already have the audience.
Hey, man, it's time under tension. That's what grows the muscles, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're excited. Make sure you head over to twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you come check us out. Come hang out. Give us a like. Give us a share. That helps out what we do here. So I'm excited to rock and roll, man. You ready to go, bro?
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
First and foremost, I want to give it up to Doc Gallows. I stole your look today. I am rocking the pirate beard. What is that, like a beard ponytail? I'm rocking it in front. I don't care. I look like a pirate. I'm feeling good. I've got the Cincinnati Bungles shirt on right now. We're 2-1, top of the division of AFC North. Who'd have thunk it? Thursday Night Football's coming in a couple days. I don't even care about pro football that much, but when my team doesn't suck, it makes me happy. You feel me?
Yeah.
Watching the Bungles not bungle it, it's awesome. Notre Dame goes out, dominates the world as usual, dominates on national TV. It's unbelievable. I am just really happy about the bread and circus that's going on right now, okay? The new world order is happening. The world is falling apart around me. But gosh darn it, I'm getting my bread and circus, and I'm so excited to rock and roll. So with that being said, how the tables have turned, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Let me give a brief history. I am not a massive NBA fan. Can I state this for the record?
I'm not a massive basketball fan.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I appreciate the game when March rolls around, because that's when my daughter's birthdays are. I am a March Madness fanatic, okay? I love brackets. I love watching people just, I love watching Cinderella stories happen. I love the pageantry of college basketball. But after college basketball, to be fair, I don't care. I just don't care. Last time I cared about the NBA, Allen Iverson was actually good. My favorite player of all time is Dennis Rodman and Shaquille O'Neal. Love those guys, but guess what? They're gone, I'm a Rodman fan because I love the worm. I love the way he played. He didn't score a lot of points, but he was just in your face all the time, just like the strong one. So he just measures my personality, which is great.
How many rebounds did he get that led to points? That's the
tons.
Exactly.
Tons.
He wasn't there to score points. He was there to get the ball back.
Absolutely. Domination. That's when I cared about basketball. When you actually could foul a guy we feminize basketball just like we feminized every other professional sport to the point where it's almost unwatchable. I've conceded myself to Saturdays where I watch my college football all day, and then I will check in on Tom Brady for NFL, and I will check in on my Bungles to see that we don't suck. But that is pretty much my extent of my bread and circus as the New World Order falls apart. Now, the reason I bring up the NBA is how many times have we mocked the NBA on this show?
Quite a bit ever since the whole Hong Kong fiasco.
Yeah, since Hong Kong, when you couldn't talk about Hong Kong because China not only holds the purse strings, but
yeah, I was going to say basically owns the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, they got him by the balls, like literally and figuratively, but more literally than anything else. And they have the NBA by the gonads to the point where they can't say anything about Hong Kong. And we mercilessly roasted them about this. I've roasted LeBron James on his fake hate crime. Please look that up. Still can't find a picture of the N-word drawn on his palatial mansion there in LA. Strangely, it's almost like it never happened, which is interesting. He doesn't talk about it anymore. Yeah, it's weird. Black Lives Matter. Remember, they quarantined themselves into a bubble here in Orlando, Florida, because the ultra deadly coronavirus that not a single NBA player died from. And in the bubble, they decided to take knees for Black Lives Matter. Subsequently, canceling 2 games because of, I forget which shooting it was. It was the one where they canceled the games and come to find out the guy had a knife and was trespassing on a woman who had a restraining order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the dude's name, but he was a dirtbag, so why should we?
Yeah, he was a scumbag. And he admitted he was a scumbag. And the NBA fell for it.
And he rushed a police officer with a knife.
Yeah, he did.
Why should we remember this guy? We shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember him. But I will remind the NBA that they canceled games because of this, looked absolutely foolish. And then the moment that they went back into stadiums, not the bubble, strangely, all the Black Lives Matter stuff went away. It was weird. Like Black Lives Mattered one year in the bubble when they couldn't feel the ramifications of actual, audience.
They felt the ratings ramifications.
I mean, but did they? Because they still suck at ratings. So,
well, that's because everybody's. Well, see, that's the thing is that the lockdown has opened eyes. I think.
True.
Lockdowns,
Very true.
COVID, all this stuff has opened eyes, and they're tired of watching the destruction of their country, and the false. They've seen the narrative for what it is. I think in like maybe not completely, not as deeply as we have, or anything like that, but they're like, nah. I'm actually kind of done with, like, there's this whole world out there now, that I wasn't a part of.
Sure.
And sports just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Just yeah. I mean, it's funny because we moved on, right? It's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to worry about what LeBron James says about things. Baseball ratings are absolutely abysmal. Look at baseball. Like, nobody gives a rat's butt about baseball other than Boston and New York, and maybe some parts of LA. So baseball has become a coastal sport. The NBA has become a coastal sport. And as that's all happening,
I feel sad about that for baseball, because it's like that's America's pastime.
At one point, horse racing, boxing, and baseball were the most popular sports in America. Think about that.
Yeah,
it goes through phases, man. The bread and circus only just.
I have an appreciation for the science of baseball.
100%.
But 100%. That appreciation isn't enough for me to actually watch it. So.
Yeah, very true. I'll watch it live if somebody gives me tickets for free. I won't spend money on it, but I would love to. That's just kind of how I am. And I worked with baseball. I was a strength and conditioning coach for baseball. Had a team that was runner up in the NCAAs. We were 2 innings away from winning a national championship. Wow. I'm reminded of that often, but it is what it is, man. I appreciate baseball. I appreciate it. It's just, I don't care anymore, which is bad. Just like, I barely care about NFL. I only care when, again, when Brady's on TV and when the Bengals win. That's all I care about. But as for me and the rest of normal Americans, we watch college football and say F Joe Biden at the games that are completely packed out because we're not scared of Rona. So welcome to the SEC country,
so that
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to
one wonderful development in the world of sports.
Yes, 100%. Now, what's funny is the PR swing for the NBA and BLM. Because let's keep in mind, just another brief history. We haven't heard from BLM in a long time at all. We haven't heard from them.
No,
right?
not since one of their founders bought 4 mansions.
Yes,
for millions of dollars
in Beverly Hills.
They're like, we should probably be quiet for a little while because people have found out that we're a total scam. So
$90 million invested into this organization. Not a single dime has actually contributed to any community that they advocate for whatsoever. Strange.
Go figure,
They caused 26 deaths over the summer and caused billions of dollars of damages. Ironically, not a single one of them are in jail, like the January 6 people. But hey, listen, it's just, that's, it's not political, and it is what it is. But BLM really needed a facelift because they realized quickly, we're going to look really, really obvious if we don't push back a little bit against the Democrats who claim to actually care about us, but then have not taken a phone call from us since we burned down cities and killed 26 people to get them voted in. Now, with that being said, and I say voted in very loosely, Now, with that being said, because there is no election fraud, especially when there's 17,000 duplicate votes in a state.
That's just one aspect of that audit.
Just one
aspect of the audit.
Just one. But
But what's the headline? Forensic audit. Forensic audit of Maricopa County says says Biden won. Like, no, it didn't. It didn't say that at all.
It did not say that at all whatsoever.
It said that because this needs to be decertified anyway.
Yeah, but hey, flush it down the memory hole. 1984. Now, beautiful thing is this: Black Lives Matter actually has ironically come out against the vaccine since people like Rihanna have started to come out against the vaccine. People like Nicki Minaj has come out against the vaccine. And since the reality that they looked at the polling data and realized that only 15% of African Americans in America have actually gotten the vaccine. Let me repeat that. Only 15% of blacks in America have gotten the vaccine.
Well, that heartens me because that means that 85% of the black community are now Trump supporting bigots who are basically on our side, anti-vaxxers on our side now.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Now
that's great. Also, shout out to Texas Metalhead. Hey, brother, good to see you again.
Texas Metalhead. I love that guy. I used to hang out with him a little bit more on TikTok, but as you know, I've been banned from TikTok.
Yes.
For life. For life. So here's the beautiful thing. Sorry, I had to throw my NWO reference. I've been a little obsessed with the NWO lately for trashing the reality of it, but loving the professional wrestling aspect of it. But back to the statistics. Yeah, it would look bad on BLM if they started, pushing the vaccine because nobody that's black is really getting the vaccine.
I wonder... Like I seem to recall on it that early on there was talk of the vaccine rollout not reaching minority communities and it being just more racism and white supremacy.
Well, that was the narrative, but the problem
that was the narrative around Trump and all that, right?
And that was the narrative, but the problem is they spent billions with a B on this vaccine and spent billions with a B with marketing specifically to minority groups. And as usual, the government came through. Do you want to know what the minority statistics are of people who have complied with the government and gotten the vaccine?
I don't know.
Blacks are at 15%.
Mm.
15% of blacks have been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, which means 85% of blacks have not. Oh, those evil Asians. Only 10% of Asians have gotten vaccinated. Let me repeat that really, really slowly. 10% of Asians have gotten vaccinated. Now, I hate to be stereotypical or racist or whatever, but let's get real. Asians tend to do very, very well in America. Asians typically are viewed as highly intelligent people. Asians make up a lot of our medical field and doctors and engineers and so on and so forth. They're pretty smart people because they came to America, this crazy oppressive racist country, and have really been kicking some serious ass.
Well, that's because they are passing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said,
meanwhile, wait a second. So that's because they're passing. They're white adjacent. Meanwhile,
they're white adjacent. Gotcha.
Meanwhile, at the beginning of Shang-Chi, we get the little round table where they're like, so I was getting picked on in high school, as Asians do in racist America, right? And all the Asians around the table give the knowing nod, like, yeah. It was very small, very minor, but it was there right at the beginning of Shang-Chi, and it's like, which is it? Are they white adjacent, or is everybody still racist against them? What's going on?
Yeah, here's the problem.
Or how about in high school, everybody got picked on because kids are cruel to each other.
That's true.
If you're different 100%. In any way, it gets picked on. Done.
I don't know about y'all, but I flocked to the Asian kids because, one, I wanted to know Japanese. I wanted to be able to speak Japanese because I was going on a mission trip to Japan.
I want to speak Japanese too. Still,
there were only 2 Asian girls in my high school, and I dated both of them. So I just throwing that out there. It is what it is, brother. Okay, I went through a season. Okay, my wife doesn't listen to this, so I can't get in trouble anyways. And that happened way before I got married, so I'm safe. Okay, I'm safe. Now, with that being said, Asians are not viewed as idiots or unscientific. It's actually the opposite. But what's funny is the scientific smart Asians, 90% of them are not getting the vaccine.
Huh.
Strange. Hispanics.
Here's an interesting stat that
sure.
So they were taking vaccine, the changes in vaccine hesitancy amongst the population separated by I guess educational accomplishments, right?
Sure.
And so and the group with the least change, the least change over time was those idiot PhD holders, those morons with PhDs, which is what you get if you don't graduate from high school, right?
No, that's called a GED. You think of a GED, my friend. GED.
What's a PhD again?
PhD is like doctor status, bro. I mean, it's like up there, man.
Oh, so like the highest levels of education.
Yeah. So it's like associates, bachelors, and masters, doctorate, and then I mean, it's just up there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
smart people.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to posit that as I'm not going to be using that stat anymore.
Crazy how that works, right? But what's funny is Hispanics, 30% are vaccinated, 70% are not. You know the highest group of people who are vaccinated in the United States of America are? Whitey. Good old Whitey. Whitey is vaccinated. But here's the thing. Hence the show, the tables have turned. the narrative has been that it's these racist white Trump supporters that won't get vaccinated.
Trump supporting anti-vaccine bigots.
Yeah. But what's weird is it's mostly minorities that are not getting vaccinated, since, the NBA is a bunch of puppets. They only do what the collective tells them to do. When it comes to Hong Kong, when it
At
comes
least
to
the
China.
organization.
Yeah, sure. And when it comes to, Black Lives Matter, they jump right on board. But what's funny is they're listening again to the culture. I should call it that, the culture. And they're against the vaccines over in the NBA. Strange. Now, I'm not going to tell you that NBA players are smart. They're not. They're not very smart human beings. But when I see people like our brother here in Orlando, I forget the kid's name every single time, but he's like the only Orlando Magic player that didn't take the knee during BLM. He's a black guy, so you can't call him racist.
Is his name
He
Isaiah?
had a really Isaac something. It's something like that.
Yeah,
We'll have to look it up. Somebody will fact check it for us. They'll figure it
Yeah.
out. But this kid didn't take the knee for Black Lives Matter because he's a follower of Christ. He is a Christian, and did not believe that was a biblical stance whatsoever, which, by the way, it's not. Also articulated very, very well. You should look it up for yourself. The reason why he's not getting vaccinated, and he's not going to pressure anybody to do it or not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Very eloquently.
Very eloquently.
And what's funny is the NBA players, unlike the NFL players, because the NFL players just fall in line because that's what you do to get that money. But the NBA is dominated by players, not so much the owners. The player make way more money than the actual teams. But anyways, I and the owners, blah, blah, blah. But what's funny about the NBA is they have the cojones to push back on the media. When the media asks them why they're not getting vaccinated, they're just asking, why would I? Brett, another player from the Wizards, literally looked at the media and said, what's the point of getting the vaccine? And the media was like, well, it reduces hospitalization and death. He's like, okay, cool, but I've already had COVID and have the antibodies. So why should I get it again? And he went crickets, and he's like, well, yeah, because my age group and category, it's literally, and I'm a pretty athletic guy, don't think that this is going to affect me because I've already had it and I have antibodies. Yep. And the media went quiet. Now, the media is in a conundrum at this point because let's get real. This is a black, super wealthy man.
Mm-hmm.
Black men coming out against the vaccine. They can't pull the racist card.
No.
Because it's not about that. They can't pull the anti-science card because you can't demonize these guys because you just prop them up for the BLM movement.
No.
You can't tear down your idols now.
You can say that they're heartless because then, they don't care about their fellow man. But that
you can't
that flies in the face of the science.
Well, yeah, but you can't call them heartless because they came out for BLM. They care about their fellow man.
Bro, but you know that doesn't mean anything. The past is gone.
but this is where
what have you done for me today? The real problem is that there's too many of them.
Yeah.
If there was just one or two, then they could demonize the heck out of them no matter what they did. And they would.
Well, that's what they tried. And that's what they did in the NFL because they had people like quarterback for the Ravens literally said, I'm not going to get the vaccine. I'll take the penalty and I'll pay the fine or whatever I need to do. And they can't demonize him because he's playing like an absolute champ right now and dominating right now. So you can't talk smack, especially to a quarterback and he's a black quarterback, which is, oh my goodness, another black man coming out against the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is quite a pickle for the media. Like, what do you do? How do you pull this?
Yeah.
Because they're clearly not Trump supporters. Only 13% of black men voted for Trump, even though that's a big bump for any Republican of all time. So how do you demonize this guy as a racist when he's black? How do you do that? How do you demonize black people when they're the majority that supported Black Lives Matter? How do you come after them that way? I mean, every avenue they've got, they can't really do that because if they say they're unscientific and dumb, well, they're being racist too. So what do you do if you're the media? How do you demonize this resistance from the alpha black man? What do you do with this, Matt? Help me destroy
You don't
He's
talk about it.
anti-vaxxing Trump supporters. Huh?
You don't talk about it.
Bingo.
You don't talk about it.
Bingo.
You come down on any reporter that asks that continues to ask them questions about it.
Yep.
You know, and then you memory hole it.
Memory hole.
And then you find the shill that's willing to sell themselves out, and the Joy Reids, the Kamala Harrises, the Whoopi Goldbergs, and you
Kareem came out.
What's that?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came out for the NBA. You know, the 74-year-old guy who, let's just say, didn't have a really good status on a lot of things. But long story short, he said that Kyrie was evil. You know, we'll send a black man on black man because we're okay with black on black violence. We love black voices, just the ones that we like.
Oh, of course.
But which is funny.
Yeah. Did you see Shaquille O'Neal today, though?
What did he say?
He said that he doesn't want to be called a celebrity anymore because they've lost their freaking minds. He's like, don't call me one of those. I just want to do good by people, and these people have lost their minds, and I don't want to be. Yep. I denounce my celebrityness. I am not a celebrity. Don't call me that anymore.
But you know why that is? You know why that is?
Why?
Shaq's a businessman. He's smart.
Mm-hmm.
He's not dumb.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a businessman, you don't take a stance either way. Period. You don't do that. Like, how many commercials is Shaq on? He's on the General for your insurance. Mm-hmm. He owns Papa John's franchises.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the dumbest thing on the planet for him to come out anyway. Notice that Shaq never came out for Trump or Biden.
Yeah.
He didn't come out for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He did say some things about free speech during the whole Hong Kong NBA thing, which was good. But that's a pretty American position, so.
Oh, I know, that's scary. But he's not making China money, bro.
No, he's not.
Shaq doesn't make China money. Shaq makes Papa John's American money. Shaq makes the General money. Shaq makes TBS and TBN money. He makes that Ted Turner money.
Yep.
He
makes ESPN money.
ESPN money, yeah. So, which they're kind of China, but I mean, the reality of the situation, that's still Disney technically, I think. But
yeah,
the reality is most of his wealth is not coming from China, so he's going to have an American stance if you have any soul whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do if you're the media right now? What do you do about the narrative just erasing? Because you got to think about it. Every narrative that has been built around this virus has gone away. Like, all of them have, right?
Yeah.
It was 15 days to slow the curve. Then it was, we're going to be overwhelmed with hospitals.
Well, that was the
then
curve. That was the whole point of the curve.
Yes, right? And none of the hospitals were over, done. And then it was, well, if you don't get it, you hate your neighbor. And then all of a sudden, people that have the vaccines are spreading it everywhere. Then it was, double mask, triple mask.
It was quietly updating numbers to show that, only 6% of people who died actually died of just COVID.
COVID, exactly.
Garbage like that all throughout this whole fiasco.
And what's funny is, and people keep asking about, hey, my natural immunity, what happened to that? You got Fauci on live TV saying he doesn't have a stance on natural immunity. Think about that. Live TV. Fauci has no stance on natural immunity. When we have scientific data from Israel, because, you can't listen to the Jews because, gosh forbid, if they defend themselves.
They're like the most vaccinated country.
95% of their country is vaccinated, but now
it's definitely over the 70% threshold that is touted as being the number we need to achieve. Although that goalpost will be moved as soon as we manage to get there, if we ever get there, which I don't think we will, because people stand in opposition to all this. I
mean, Fauci said 75% and this would be over. We're over that threshold. Okay.
Are we?
Now Biden's saying 97 and 98%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because listen, 60% of white Americans are vaccinated. That's nearly most of the country. Because you got to think, what's the country? 60, well, I forget what it is, but it's an insane amount of people that are already vaccinated, man.
Yeah.
So we're already over the basic minimum threshold. And now you got Biden saying, well, 97, 98%. Well, as he's getting a third booster shot, wearing a mask. Like, think about this. So, like, what? It does. This is
so frustrating.
It is. But that's why everything is moving the way it is. That's why they're trying to inflate the dollar, right? They're trying to destroy our ability to fight back. You know, they're destroying our ability to make money. They want us dependent on them. They want to send 14,000 Haitians across the border into Texas specifically, hoping that they go ahead.
Well, notice that we're talking about NBA players who didn't get the vaccine and not the absolute disaster that's happening at the border. The lies being spread about Border Patrol agents whipping Haitians with the reins to their horses. You know,
have you seen the video that came out?
Yeah, it's such garbage. Absolutely, these people have no scruples whatsoever. They've never had a moral quandary in their lives.
No.
The only quandary was, will this make me more money? Will this push me up the ladder?
Yep.
It's so egregious.
Yeah.
I saw people. I saw them whipping these people. With what? With what? Where is the whip in the guy's hands? Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Deep state.
Deep state.
Please dispel the misinformation that Biden's booster shot was saline to avoid a reaction. Yeah.
And what's funny is you couldn't see him actually take the shot. If you noticed, did you see the video of him taking the third booster?
No.
He's masked up, and they literally shoot him at the back of the arm, so you can't even see if there's an injection of a needle whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
This dude has not gotten any of these shots. It's ridiculous. And that's what's funny is, what is it? PhDs. I think it's like 70% of PhDs have not taken the vaccine or something like that. It's like it's an insanely high deal. All those really dumb Asians, only 90% of them have not taken it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got like this is what's astounding is this has nothing to do with science. We all know this. This is a religion. It's a cult. It's the Branch Covidians. We get it.
That's how you can have normal people saying things like the unvaccinated should just be left to die. They shouldn't get hospital beds. This is like your mom. This is like your neighbor's mom.
No, time out. The unvaccinated white people. Let's get real. But all those unvaccinated Haitians.
Because they don't even know. They don't even know the status of minorities because they've never been told that. They've never been told that. They've only been told on CNN about the crazy flag waving, Trump supporting, Bible thumping, gun toting, lunatic, anti-vaxxer, bigot who doesn't want to get the coronavirus and is killing your grandma because they didn't get the vaccine. What's that?
What's bad about any of those things other than the bigotry? What's bad about it?
Well, it's bad if you're the person, if you're the next door neighbor, regular person who thinks that the anti-vax should die, you hate all those things.
100%. That's true. It's true. And
because CNN told you to hate them.
Of course, because it's science. I mean, the media. I mean, the TV. TV told me to.
It's a program.
But no, I mean, it's
programming.
It is. It's 100% programming. It is. And no, but that is what's been interesting about the narrative just kind of melting is it's funny. Like people will tag me on Instagram and they're like, "Oh, talk to this liberal. He's like blah 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 blah." And I just keep saying the same rebuttal to liberals that are like hating on people that are vaccinated. I'm like, so are you racist now? Because 85% of blacks don't take this. And magically, they at first they try to call me a racist. Then they look at my profile and they're like, crap, that bullet's gone. Can't use that one. dang it, what am I going to say? Oh, you're unscientific. And I'm like, oh, cool. So the science of not taking the vaccine for the thing that 99.999% of people will survive, even if they get it, that science?
The science
Block.
where you're
Block.
vaccinated and thus you're protected, and somehow me not being vaccinated means that you're not protected.
Because listen, your overeating, listen, Matt, your overeating is causing me to get fat. Okay? Do you understand me?
Well, clearly, I mean,
Your overeating is ruining my diet.
Look at me.
Huh?
Look at me. It's just white supremacy, listen. My friend. It's let me tell you, it's great being white.
It's great being white, brother. No, but what's funny, it is the moment that these liberals are presented with an actual articulation of these ideas and presented with the reality that most of the people that are not taking this are black people, they have to run and hide because you got to pick, because there's the thing, the cult of CRT, the cult of the Democratic Party, the cult of the liberal logic right now is you have to have a demon. And the problem is this.
Yeah.
Like, you were going to be able to dupe a lot of black people in the Black Lives Matter because, you know, at the end of the day, people are envious. They love greed and they love the idea of being oppressed. That victimhood is a status symbol now in America, which is completely sad and depressing. But you're not going to convince black people that after you just spent 3 years telling us how evil white people are, an attempt to get rid of Orange Man, bringing up the Tuskegee experiments, bringing up the syphilis that was been injected in the black men, basically telling us
the CIA
do not
selling
trust
drugs in the black community.
Yeah, you've spent 3 to 4 years perpetrating truth that the government is not your friend, and now you want them to befriend the government after you just told them they're not?
It's funny.
That makes no sense.
You'd think that that this is like a cognitive dissonance or something, because there's so much welfare going from the government into the black community, right?
Sure.
But it's actually not.
It's
because
not.
They think the mindset is that they're owed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not. They don't see themselves as dependent on the government. They see themselves as owed that, but by the government. But and that's
what's interesting
that's
is
the victimhood mentality.
Sure, and to be fair, I mean, there are more white people on welfare than are black people.
For sure.
So I mean,
for sure.
To be fair,
there's also more white people in America.
Yes, exactly. So what I'm getting to your point, like victimhood, when you have an entitled group of people, like, how do you incentivize them to take a jab? That's the question. How do you incentivize that?
Yeah, you already give them everything that they want.
And you just said that the government's evil and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Why trust the government?
Yeah.
So it is interesting. And what do you do? Because now your puppeteers, the NBA has flipped the script because, as dumb as the NBA is, like, they'll shill for China because China doesn't affect them. Think about that, right? I'll shill for China to get that China money because I don't ever have to go to China, even though China is massively racist towards black people. But, we don't want to talk about that whatsoever. Look up the numerous occasions where black athletes go into China and get arrested for bogus charges. Don't look that stuff up.
Look up what. I mean, there are black communities in China, and look how they're treated. Like, find that info. Not well.
But America's racist. But
and frankly, that's across Asia. It's not that different in South Korea and Japan. They're very mono. They're very homogenous cultures. No.
Let's just say that the Asian ladies that I dated in high school the daddies didn't really like me very much. Just saying. Yeah. Just throwing that out there. But anyways, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why. But anyways, all I'm going to say is this. Long story short is this. Listen, it's easy to be a shill when it doesn't cost you anything. But guess what? The moment that it starts actually affecting you, that's when the true colors come out. Period.
Here's the sad thing, though. Is that from day one, you selling out to China is going to affect you. You know? China is China is on the oversight committee of the managed decline. China is the head of the oversight committee for the managed decline of America, of the American empire.
100%.
You know? You shilling for them is just a small piece of that decline. Like, business with China is bad business for America. In just every way, shape, or form. It really is. They don't have, I mean, it's kind of obvious that they don't have our best interests at heart. They don't even have a fair business deals at heart, you know? None of our arrangements with them benefit us in any way.
Yeah, but we get cheap stuff, man.
Yeah,
cheap
but we
stuff as our dollar.
True, but we don't make anything anymore. And our only function in the world economy is to consume.
Yeah.
And it's destroying us.
Yeah.
Sure.
But China's awesome.
Sure, the dollar, the US dollar is the petrol dollar. It's the only way you can buy gas for now. For now, until China wants to be the world's reserve currency. Until China is in the position that it knows it needs to be in to make that switch happen.
Yeah, the thing is, part of it is this. Listen, they're very evil and dumb forces afoot in America, right? So, like, part of the reality is this. We live in a country of red and blue states, right? So I've heard arguments on both sides, and I'll just wrap up with this because I know we're coming up on our hour. The reality is this. If you divide America, you can conquer it. So, like, the moment the petrodollar goes away for the United States is when we split up and we go south and the coasts. You know what I mean? And it's going to happen that way. That's probably what's going to go down because no empire lasts over 250 years. We're in year 244, just to remind all of you that's out there. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Do I think it's a horrible thing or bad thing? No, because let's get real in the South. How do you think we're going to view drilling on our own lands or drilling offshore? Let's get real with ourselves. A lot of oil out there in the coast of Florida, a lot of oil in Texas. We going to be all right. Okay, we're in Scotland and England this thing all day long.
We'll
now,
have
with that being said,
the bread basket is still going to be out there farming for us.
Yes, 100%.
Most of them are on our side
be okay. Too. 100%. So you got to think about that. So that's now to the liberals that are terrified of the South defecting and saying we're out of here because we're about to be out of here because the newest poll shows 50% of people from the southern region are ready to have a nice little divorce. Okay, good. So again, and I'm anti-divorce. Trust me, as a follower of Christ. But when it comes to countries, I'm perfectly okay with divorce. Israel and Judah. I mean, I kind of like the. Yeah, exactly. Right now, here's the thing. I think that's going to be part of the Chinese plan, right? If you keep America together, you just keep making it more liberal. They'll keep making stupid decisions, and we'll pull off the Obama agenda. Oopsie, sorry, Nancy Pelosi, and we'll manage to decline more of America. At some point, the camel's backs, or at some point, there's going to be enough straw that breaks the camel's back, and the South's going to be like, we don't need your debt anymore, because Texas is above budget. Florida is above budget. We don't really need federal dollars. One example of that, Biden just cut off funding for the antibody treatment in Florida. Guess what our governor did immediately?
He went around them and got antibody treatments.
He paid for it.
I just saw that Abbott did the same thing in Texas.
Yeah. It's weird. When you're not dependent on the federal government, you can give them the big middle finger. It's crazy.
Yes.
This is why New York and California suck, because if you don't balance your books, you are beholden to these jackasses. Okay, and that goes for your own home.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'm not completely different. Yeah, I mean, it's like, listen, I'm not debt free. We're working at it right now. We're paying off some big stuff right now. We're very excited about it. My goal is to be completely debt free before these girls get into college. But the reality of the situation is, then I'm gonna have to pay for some weddings, which I'm pissed off. I've got 3 daughters. It's gonna happen. So it is what it is. Enjoy the ride. I will always be a slave to something, which I'm okay with because I'm a slave to Christ. Now, with that being said, from a government standpoint, you don't want to have a debtor. You just don't want that to happen, right? I'm going through Deuteronomy in my Bible study right now, and one of the things that keeps happening over and over and over again is God commands the Israelites to loan to other countries, but don't be in debt to any other country. Loan to other countries, but don't be in debt to other countries, because that is leverage that people can use over you. And the reason why Florida and California, or the reason why Florida and Texas are free and there's no leverage over us, is because they don't have us by the balls. They don't have us by the purse strings. We make money regardless, despite of them. Texas is going to have oil money and business money till the cows come home. Florida will always have some form of tourist money. We've got oil here. We've got resources here. We don't have to be beholden to these insane psychopaths, right? And when you push back, the narrative changes, just like these NBA players who are pushing back with the narrative right now. When you push back, it is magical what happens. Bullies tend to go away when you punch them back in the mouth. I can say this as a young child in Ohio, who happens to have a little bit different pigment color than most of my contemporaries there in Ohio. I got bullied a lot when I was a kid. But then, praise God for God's given genetics, I got a little bit bigger. And then I got a little bit of an attitude, and people didn't tend to mess with me, especially when you're larger than them and you're smiling at them like this.
What was that?
This instance.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. What did you say? Huh?
I didn't quite hear you.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just crazy what happens. You know, you get picked on, and then when you're 13, you start lifting weights, and you get stronger than everybody. Magically, all that stuff tends to go away. It's like strength repels stupidity. And the same thing happens when you have strength of conviction, strength of your pocketbook, and strength of morality. Those bullies tend to go away really, really, really fast. So, you know, one another example of it, ask how Australia is doing with that gun, with no guns whatsoever right now. Strength, you want to repel stupid. There's a reason why they want gun control here. There's a reason why they want you in debt. Yes. There's a reason why they want the dollar inflated. There's a reason why they want you dependent on the federal government so you cannot push back. Well, the beautiful thing is we have an American rebellious spirit.
Amen.
And we like to push back against things that are unconstitutional and immoral. And I listen, I applaud the NBA players who are standing up for this. Now, I wish you're a little bit. I wish you would have done this with BLM and been smarter, but you weren't. You got stuck to the race bait like a lot of people did.
You know, it's like we
wish you would have done it with China.
That's the thing. Like, you know, Nicki Minaj did her thing, and people are like, "Well, conservatives listening to Nicki Minaj now," and they're like, "Oh, you know." No, we're not listening to Nicki Minaj's music. Her music is garbage. No. But she said something good. And we applaud good things and we denounce bad things. If it's bad, we don't want to hear it. You're wrong. If it's good, good job. You actually got it right. Good job. That's awesome.
It's because we don't have situational ethics. We actually have a thing called ethics.
Principles.
Ethics, principles. Crazy how that works, man. But hey, it's an hour, and I don't want to bore the people too much with our intelligence that are just blowing minds right now, because I see minds expanding and exploding on Clapper, on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness, on Facebook and YouTube as we speak right now. And I want to save their lives. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever seen The Pick of Destiny by Tenacious D? I did not mean to blow your mind, but that happens to me all the time. Like literally, I don't want to do that to people. Yes, you feel me?
I feel you. On that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you can get a podcast, Instagram, minds.com, and Rumble. Good night. Peace out.
See you, Clapper.
What? Wow. That's for space. Space, force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look like warp. Everybody look confused. How do we make these moves? How do we always improve? No, we ain't nothing like you. We on top cause we don't stop and all we do is gradual. Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team holy mackerel. Know us, and we reign in better grab a boat.
We a different breed, talking alien. Survivor of the fittest, and we play to win. Grab another bounty and get paid again. Then we fade into the dark like a gradient. Dark like a gradient. Dark like a gradient.
Space, force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look like warp. Everybody look confused. How do we make these moves? How do we always improve? No, we ain't nothing like you. We on top cause we don't stop and all we do is gradual. Everyone's so grouchy cause they puppets and we animals. We don't whine, we just break bread with the team holy mackerel. Know us, and we reign in better grab a boat.
Poke the bear, you better go in there. My fireworks in the sky like a Roman air. An imposer in the throne, and it's stole my chair. Any moment here could become a polar